Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Charles Sabansu, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, and entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a pretty interesting show for you guys. But before we get into it, please make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you're not following the DREAMERSPRO podcast and you want today's full show before it comes out on YouTube, it is streamed for free on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. We have that pinned in the comment section below. Let me get into this topic here. Now, it's been a while since we produced a Clippers topic, right? A few weeks. Last time we produced a show, I was expressing my absolute frustration at the fact that the Clippers went out there and decided to bring James Harden into the fold. At the time of that trade, they were running a lineup which consisted of James Harden, Russell Westbrook, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George. And I think anybody that understands anything at a very basic level of basketball was able to see that this is not going to work. You have too many guys that need the ball, and some of them have redundant skill sets, especially at the point guard position, and some of them were not spot-up shooters like Russell Westbrook and James Harden, and it just wasn't going to work. It just was not going to work. And the Clippers ended up losing 5 games in a row after the acquisition of James Harden. Then a bit of news came out, which was Russell Westbrook went to the Clippers organization and essentially told them that he would be willing to come off the bench. The minute I heard that news, it was a sigh of relief because I was like, okay, at least now there's going to be some hope. And what happened? The moment he did that, I think they went on a 2-game winning streak, then they lost, and they were still trying to find their footing. And then the Clippers started winning some games in a row, 2 games, 3 games, 4 games. And I said to myself, the reason I'm not going to talk about this is because I need to see more. I hate those people that the minute their team gets on a 1 or 2 or 3 game winning streak, all of a sudden, this is the greatest team in the world. And the minute they lose 2 games in a row, this is the worst team in the history of basketball. The reason I was reacting that way to the James Harden trade was because they did something fundamentally different, which created a new team in certain to a certain extent. So that was something different. So I said, I don't want to be one of those people that just be doing shows every 2-3 minutes. So I waited, and then they went to a 3-game winning streak, a 4-game winning streak, a 5-game winning streak, a 6-game winning streak. And then yesterday, they completed they got another victory, which then ended up getting them their 7th consecutive win. And oh, by the way, that leads the league in terms of game win streaks. I think the other team that's currently at 6 is the Philadelphia 76ers in the Eastern Conference, but the Clippers they have the highest winning streak at this particular point. And I watched some of these games. I think I watched a little bit of the past 3 games, and the Clippers seem to be gelling in a totally different way. But most importantly, the player that seems to be finding himself within the offense is their most important player and their best player in Kawhi Leonard. And I want to get into his stats. But before we even get into that, this video is brought to you by our sponsor, Aura. Do you know what the fastest growing crime in America is today? It's identity theft. Imagine trying to log into your email only to see that your password has been changed. Then you start getting weird notifications from your bank and credit cards only to find out that all of your personal and sensitive information has been totally compromised. If you think it can happen to you and your family, just know that in 2020, over 49 million Americans were victims to identity theft, costing them a combined $56 billion. That is why we are excited to partner with Aura, who's the sponsor of this video. Aura is the #1 identity theft and financial fraud protection. Aura monitors the dark web and alerts you if any of your passwords and accounts have been breached. And funny enough, after using Aura, I discovered some of my credentials were floating around in the dark web, and the app showed me exactly when and where the breach happened. In addition, Aura allows you to set spending alerts, and they'll notify you of any suspicious transactions. Aura is 4 times faster than any of its competitors in alerting you if someone is trying to open a credit card or obtain a loan using your name. And remember this, every 14 seconds, someone becomes a victim of identity fraud. Don't let it happen to you. Now click the link in the description and try Aura for free for 2 weeks and see if any of you or your family's personal information has been compromised. Start your free trial at aura.com/DREAMERSPRO. And when you try Aura, by using the link in the description below, also know that you're supporting this channel. Thank you. So I want to get into some of the stats from Kawhi Leonard over the last 7 games. I got a lot of data that I want to share with you guys. Over the last 7 games, and this is according to NBA Central. Kawhi over the last 10 games, 31, 8 and 3, 8 rebounds, 3 assists. 34, 9 rebounds and 3 assists. 23, 7 rebounds, 0 assists. 28 rebounds, 7 assists. 17, 4, 5. 41, 5 and 5. 34, 6 and 5. 31, 4 and 3. 27, 8 and 2. And last night, 36, 7 and 4. And at the bottom of that, they said Kawhi Leonard is healthy. Now I want to get to another player, which is James Harden. And I want to apologize to James Harden. I was very, 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 very hard on James Harden when he initially joined the Clippers. But ever since he's been with the team now, and he's been with them for 20 games, these are James Harden's numbers. He's averaging 16 points per game. Some night, I think the other night he scored 28 points on 46% shooting, which is the highest he shot since 2020. He's shooting 41% from the three, which is the highest he has shot in his NBA career. He's shooting 86.5% from the free throw line with 4.7 rebounds and 7.5 assists with only 2.3 turnovers, and getting you 1.5 steals. And a lot of those steals are just deflections. And he has this uncanny ability to get deflections. So I first of all want to apologize to him because I was very hard on him. And he's found a way to fit into this offense seamlessly. He's getting guys in their spots. He seems to have the entire offense under his fingertips, and when you see him leading this team, he's a total orchestrator and a maestro. And yesterday he was pulling off some passes which were absolutely mind blowing. Like, wow, did he just pull out that pass? So James Harden has been an absolute godsend in terms of the point guard that the Clippers need, and he's filled in his role spectacularly. At first, I had a lot of questions about that, but now he's playing very well, and he's also improved his defense. He still has some challenges with his lateral defense, but overall, he's improved his defense. Now, I want to give you guys some other data. If you look at the Clippers right now, in terms of points, they're number 12 in the NBA in points. Now, here's something else that we need to pay attention to, which is a number that I'm paying attention to, is their defensive rating. They're number 6 in the NBA in their defensive rating, and their net rating is 5th out of the 30 teams in the NBA. If we look at the standings in the Western Conference, at one point the Clippers, I think, were like the 11th seed or the 12th seed, and they found a way to move all the way up now to the 6th seed. Right, in the West. Now, obviously, it's still early, but they seem to be on a very good tier. Obviously, they have some good teams that they're going to be playing against in the next coming days. I think some of their opponents are the following. They just played the Knicks, so they're going to be playing the Pacers, which are pretty good. They're going to be playing the Dallas Mavericks, obviously a very good team. Then you have the Oklahoma City Thunder. Then you have the Boston Celtics. So those are some serious challenges. It'll be interesting to see how they do. Hopefully they go at least 3 out of 4 out of those tough teams. I think that will be good. That will be a good barometer for this team. And I think that if the Clippers continue to win, it's just going to build their confidence. And that's what I'm seeing. If you watch them play, you can see that this team is beginning to build confidence. And if I'm being honest with you, as someone who didn't see this thing working, I'm beginning now to wonder, what would it be like if this team actually figured it out? Because they're certainly playing the games. Kawhi Leonard, just to give you guys a stat, Kawhi Leonard has played every single game this year. He has not missed a single game all season long. He's played all 25 of the games. And in those 25 games, and his scoring is still going up. He's averaging 24 points per game. I expect that number to go up, obviously, and it's in the 30s over the last 10 games. So that number, I expect it to get to like 26, 27 by the end of the year. He's shooting 51.4% from the field. Now, get this. He's shooting 44% from 3. 44% from the three-point line. He's shooting 87% from the free throw line while getting you 5.9 rebounds, 3.6 assists, only 1.5 turnovers, and 1.6 steals per game. Kawhi Leonard is playing defense again, and he seems to be energized, but quietly. I think Kawhi Leonard, as someone that's observing him from the far, I think there are a lot of things going through his mind. Number one, I think he wants to destroy the notion of he's one of these guys that doesn't enjoy playing basketball. He's one of the guys that just looks at the NBA as a part-time job, like they don't really take it seriously. So I think Kawhi is on a mission to play as many games as he can this year. I think Kawhi is going to play in the high 70s this year, which is going to be an accomplishment for him. I also think that he has a quiet motivation to prove a lot of these guys wrong. And back to my original point, which was, as someone who didn't think this thing would work, I'm beginning to envision, well, what would this Clippers team look like if they were to gel? Because I remember initially when the Miami Heat, the Big Three, were formed, they had some hiccups within their first 30 games. And I think at one point in that season, they went on a 20-game winning streak. It was absurd. And I'm beginning to wonder, could the Clippers end up gelling and becoming the team that, some people expected them to be, at the very least, people within the Clippers organization? Because if that happens, then I don't know what the ceiling is. Now, obviously, I still think the king of the West right now is the Denver Nuggets. The Clippers have shown an ability to not be able to deal with the Nuggets, although they won their last game against them. But that's just a regular season game. It's a totally different ball game. In the playoffs now, you're dealing with a championship team, a championship head coach who's very, very confident. You have a confident ball club. So to me, I still think the Nuggets, until you beat the Nuggets, they're the best in the West. But I'm beginning to see this team turn into something that I didn't expect, right? And that's the reason I've been waiting. I didn't just want to be like, oh, let me produce a video now that they won 3 games in a row. I was like, let them get on a good streak, right? I thought it would have been premature to do a show if they won 4 in a row. That would have been premature. Even 5 in a row. But 6, 7, 8, 9, 10? I think if the Clippers get to 10, 11, 12 games in a row, then the national media will start paying attention to them, because a lot of people have written them off for the simple fact that none of their stars have been able to stay healthy. So these are my thoughts. The question to the audience is the following. What do you think the Clippers could be at the end of the season if they continue to gel? Do you think they could end up being a championship team or not? Whatever you guys think, please leave your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you on the next show. Peace.